Hi, this is Tim from UK Home Gym, your home for UK specific independent home gym tips and advice. And today it's the last video of 2024. We're coming to the very end of 2024, and I want to go back in time. It's a time of introspection after all, as the year comes to an end. And I want to think, 2024, I want to think of four things that I wish I could go back and tell myself in the past before I started trying to sort of stay fit at home and build a home gym. So, number one on this list is I wish I'd have known that when you sort of go online and you search for words like home workout or stay fit at home or things like that, there's a lot of resources that will come at you if you sort of put those sort of put those sort of words into a search engine. And unfortunately, most of them, I wish I'd known this, most of them are absolutely useless for building strength and muscle. And if that is a goal for you, then you should know that before you should be able to refine your search, basically. Because this journey is sort of something you have to do on your own, really. There's no authoritative guide out there to building a home gym or to staying fit at home. Everything in the world is sort of trying to push you towards going towards a commercial gym. If you decide to go it alone, then you're sort of in the dark and you have to piece everything together. So if you do go online or whatever and you start looking for things like home workout or whatever, you will find a lot of, body weight sort of high intensity training, sort of high intensity interval training, sort of follow along workouts that you can do. You'll find a lot of advice, or maybe AI will start suggesting to you, a lot of things to do, that, body weight squats or whatever, and short rest periods between all of these things and tabatas and stuff like that. These are all really good for increasing your fitness, but they're not going to do much to increase your strength or help you build muscle. It's sort of a bitter pill to swallow, but you do need to come to terms with the fact that you are probably going to need some sort of form of equipment to build the kind of strength and the kind of muscle that you're after. So point number two is if we sort of zoom into actual home gym advice, most of it is really bad. And most of it is really bad, particularly if you happen to be, like me, UK based. It just doesn't work for you. Here's why most of it is bad. If you come across like home gym advice written in like magazines or newspapers or their online versions or whatever, I find, and I'm not gonna pick out any examples because I think that would be quite unfair. But I think if you do this exercise yourself, you will quickly agree with me. You will quickly understand what I'm talking about. But I find that this is always written or created by people who don't have home gyms themselves or don't use their home gyms to try and build strength or muscle. Because the sort of exercises they suggest you do, the sort of equipment they suggest that you buy, is always like wholly unpractical. It's not written by people who actually genuinely want to get stronger or genuinely want to build muscle. Um, I'm not quite sure who its intended target is, or maybe it's written to try and sell some sort of product or whatever. In many cases, it is, but I think that the vast majority of mainstream media, what it has to say about home gyms is really lacking, to say in a polite way. Now, if you look at the actual good quality stuff, then there is good quality stuff, very good quality stuff out there. Home gym advice or whatever. It tends to be, and I've made this point in another video, and in fact in a video that's all about just this particular subject. It tends to be from Americans, and I've got nothing against Americans at all. But when they give gym advice, it tends to be advice that's very applicable to other Americans rather than, the rest of the world, and particularly, British people. Now, I've said this before, but it's worth repeating. British homes are on average way smaller than American homes. And Americans have a vast array of choices in terms of home gym equipment suppliers. We don't have that here in the UK. We're like the poor cousin in many ways. So that means that you really need to take, you can watch, certainly you can watch some of their advice, but it's not always practical for you. I think that you'll find that a lot of their advice, and a lot of the products that they're talking about are just not available here, or they're available for incredibly expensive prices that you just can't, you can't justify paying when there are sort of cheaper and good alternatives. And number three is I wish I'd have known that buying the cheapest product available really isn't a good option in most home gym cases. So, if you don't know where to start, you probably, start looking for your home gym equipment on an e-commerce platform like Amazon or eBay or whatever, something like that. And it's very difficult to sort of identify what's a good product and what's not a good product on something like that because, it tends to be, you tend to be dealing with companies you're not really sure who they are. They don't have any particular reputation. You won't find videos reviewing their products in most cases because, the American channels, as I said before, they don't really need to buy those kind of products. They've got such a wide array of sort of domestically made or domestically commissioned items to choose from. So, you may think, and this is a trap I fell into, you may think, well, look, I'm not very strong at the moment, so I don't want to buy like some really expensive squat rack, for example. I might go to the gym and I'm looking at these guys doing heavy squats, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to load up a bar with 100 kilograms or whatever and start squatting with it, or I'm not going to be deadlifting 150 kilograms or whatever. I can barely squat the bar or something like that, or even it's difficult for me to do like a goblet squat with an 8 kilogram slam ball or whatever. I understand that perspective, and I understand people who therefore think, well, look, I'll just get the bare minimum because I don't think my strength is enough, or it won't be enough to I won't be able to get up to that kind of level like those kind of guys. Well, I've got a message for you. Actually, you've probably got a lot more strength potential than you think, and you'll probably very quickly outgrow any of these sort of starter items, or, for instance, like a squat rack that can only take, 80, 100 kilograms or something like that worth of weight, or, a bar that you can only load up to 100, 150 kilograms or something like that. You may surprise yourself, and you probably will. And that's what happened to me. I started out with very sort of modest strength goals, if I had any strength goals at all. And I've sort of surprised myself. And I think that if you have a home gym and the commitment and the time to put into it, I think you'll surprise yourself too. So don't go too too much onto the budget side of things if you can avoid it. Particularly with certain items. I won't go into more detail about which items, but I think, for instance, a squat rack, for instance, a barbell, those things really you should probably go for. If you can't afford something high range, there is plenty of sort of mid-range options, and I think that that's a good place to sort of go with. Because even in the mid-range there, you can sort of get up to a very decent standard of quality and, of weight also, of what you can put on the bar. Okay, so the fourth and final thing that I wish I'd have known before I started trying to build a home gym or put a home gym together is it's a trap, in the words of that Star Trek, no, not Star Trek, sorry, don't send me hate mail, Star Wars character. Yeah, it's a trap. A home gym is kind of a money trap. It's kind of a money sink. It will, particularly when you're starting off, you will think, okay, that's fine. all I need is this sort of basic setup. I'm a pretty simple person. I don't need too much. I don't need all the bells and whistles and stuff like that. But you will, as you start using it, you'll be like, well, wouldn't it be great if I also had this, or if I also had that extra thing? Or, now I've got, a squat rack, I've got a barbell, I've got some dumbbell handles and stuff like that. I've got weight plates. Wouldn't it be nice if I had a storage system? Or now I've got all these, weight plates. Wouldn't it be great if I could put them together to make a DIY cable setup, and then I could do some cable exercises as well. And wouldn't it be nice if I had a better weight bench than this? And I like my flat bench, but wouldn't it be great if I had an adjustable one? Whatever, it does sort of go on, and it can, even if you set yourself a very strict budget, you may find yourself sort of going a little bit further than you really wanted to in terms of spending on it. You know, that sounds like it's a warning about why you shouldn't get a home gym, but actually I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to tell you that there is, that aspect is there. You're never quite satisfied with it. But I do think that you do reach a point where you do sort of come to peace with what you've got, and you're like, okay, I don't really need too much more at this stage. And then you start finding yourself just tinkering and buying little bits here and there, maybe selling something and upgrading to something else. And I do think there is a sort of a sweet spot that you do reach eventually. I don't think you'll ever be completely happy with it, and there'll always be things that you'd love to add, but maybe, as is the case for me, space related issues will probably stop you from going too crazy, basically. But all of that said, even if you have sort of got the home gym bug and you really want to spend a lot of money or whatever on it, I still think that having a home gym is a better investment financially and for a load of other reasons, but particularly financially, than saying, no, I'm going to just stick with a commercial gym. I think that a commercial gym, no, it doesn't work out financially. And I'm hopeful that in my next video, I'm going to prove it to you. So if you'd like to find out why I think that, or if you'd like to see this evidence that I'm going to try and present to you, please subscribe to the channel and stay tuned, because you should find out in the next video. So that's everything for today's video. I wonder if there's anything that you would like to add. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any thoughts on what I've said, or if there's anything, if you've started your own home gym journey and there's something you wish you could go back in time and tell yourself. Please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to read your thoughts on the matter. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and all of that good stuff. Please do check out our website. That's ukhomegym.com. And I'll see you next time in 2025 on UK Home Gym.